Hi, Randall.
Hi.
Um, Today I'm going to be walking you through this session, and before we begin, I have some information for you, and I'm going to read it to make sure that I cover everything. You probably already have a good idea of why we've asked you here, but let me go over it again briefly.
Okay.
We're asking people to try using the early design of a website that we're working on so that we can see whether it works as intended. The session should take less than an hour. The first thing I want to make clear right away is that we're testing the site, not you. You can't do anything wrong here. In fact, this is probably the one place today where you don't have to worry about making mistakes. As you use the site, I'm going to ask you as much as possible to try to think out loud, to say what you're looking at and what you're trying to do, and what you're thinking. This will be a big help to us. And please don't worry that you're going to get hurt our feelings. We're doing this to improve the site, so we need to hear your honest reactions. If you have any questions as we go along, just ask them. I may not be able to answer them right away since we're interested in how people do when they don't have someone sitting next to them to help. But if you still have any questions when we're done, I'll try to answer them for you. And if you need to take a break at any point, let me know. You may have noticed that we're set up to record you speaking and that screen is showing. With your permission, we're going to record what happens on the screen in our conversation. The recording will only be used for us to help figure out how to improve the site and won't be seen by anyone except the people working on this project. And it helps me because I don't have to take as many notes. So do you have any questions so far?
No, I'm ready to get to it.
Okay. So, great. Well, we're done with the questions. I was going to ask you a few questions about yourself,
that's
but I think
fine.
we're going to skip through
Okay.
that. Well, you can tell me, first of all, what's your occupation?
I'm a programmer analyst slash database administrator.
Okay. So, for the time being, I want to imagine you're planning a large, important event such as a wedding.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to ask you to try to do some specific tasks. And
Can it be any event, or you have a specific?
It has to be a wedding.
Oh, it has to be a wedding.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm going to ask you to try to do some specific tasks, and for each one, I'm going to read the situation and the task out loud and give you a printed copy to follow along. These are not meant to represent a continuous series of activities, so you may notice that we jump around a bit. Just react to the scenario that I present and do what comes naturally. Since this is only an early prototype, not everything will be functional. Feel free to look around and try things, but as much as possible, it will help us if you can try to think about it as we go.
Okay.
So, ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay, task number 1.
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was shuffling those. Okay.
Okay. Your best friend told you about this new website for event planning. Since you've just started planning a wedding, you decide to go ahead and give it a try. And I'm just going to get us back to the main screen here. There we go. Okay.
Okay.
So you can start right here.
All right. Let's see. The first thing I do is to pull down and make sure it had my event type before I create an account. And I would probably go through, and this looks like a pretty simple account setup page. I would avoid putting my email address in unless it was required. I would put as little information as possible, but this looks pretty good.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
And then why don't you go ahead and create an account and log in.
Okay.
Show us how you do that.
Yeah. I'm assuming I would fill out this information. I already remember, and it's got that login there, but I hit here, create an account. Do that one. It brings me in. Great.
Okay, so planning is going well, but you need to change an item on your to-do list. Add a new reminder to call the florist.
Okay, I see I've got tasks here and tasks down there, and it seems easy to get to. And I've got something already on there about call the florist, and I can click on that. And it looks like I can put the reminder in. Either click this and enter a time, or maybe this time relates to the reminder. And I'll X back out of that.
Okay. You have decided that you want the wedding to be an outside wedding in a garden setting, and your budget will allow only $7,500. You need to search for a venue that fits these conditions and make an appointment to see it in person.
Oh, okay. Venues. I don't see venues on here. I'm going to want to get back to home if I don't see everything. And I think this is home. Quick check might be better if that said home or overview, something like that. Let's see what happens. And that does bring me back on the to the main page. Oh, I see down here it says vendors and find vendors. I'm going to assume that's venue is under vendors. Kind of a more of a business term. So, okay, and I've got to find a venue, and I would probably search and then pull down categories and then do search for venues and for it there. And then I would expect that I would see the vendors down here and featured. I'm not sure what that would mean. Maybe they paid special money to be put up there. I don't know. And then I could pin this or like it, and it looked pretty standard buttons there. Maybe find out more by clicking the plus sign. Not sure. Oh, the zip code. Yeah, I like the zip code, having it right up there. Type that in. That would probably be the first thing I do after selecting the venue category.
And can you show us how you would make an appointment to see it in person? You can imagine that that's the vendor, not Flowers in the Park.
Right.
I mean the event, it's a venue. That's what you're looking for. It's a little bit confusing.
Right,
here.
That's fine. Well, I see you request an appointment up here. I'm assuming that would pop up an email and a send to. And I could go to their website, add a review. I don't see the phone number listed here, but I assume it'd be on the site. So I think that would be the way to go.
Okay. So we're on our fourth task, and that is you've entered the names and addresses for all of your family, friends, and coworkers, and everyone else who might want to come to your wedding. But the list is way too long. Try to prune the list down to a more reasonable size.
Okay, so I'll go back to the main page. Well, it says guest down there. Guest might be guest. Could be called guest list. And I'm going to go over to attendance. And that's a little different than guest, but they end up at the same place apparently. And I've got a list here, and I assume I would check names off and then have an action up here to be able to delete them if they weren't supposed to be on the list. Or you add them to a group, which is uninvite. I'm not sure, but it's a pretty clean looking page, and I could get more details by clicking on the name. Gives me an overview of attendance and all the groups associated with it. So that looks pretty good.
Okay. So task number 5. You found a dress you really like on the website of a local bridal shop. To remember it and compare it to other dresses, save the information from the website, a picture of the dress, and your notes so you can refer to it later.
Okay, well, I went back to vendors and went to dress. Had that been working, I'm assuming I'm going to see dresses down here, or in my area, or I'm going to see bridal shops. I click on this address or bridal shop. I would probably, if I liked it, I would pin it, heart it, something like that, and that I would have that stored somewhere.
And where do you think that might be stored?
I don't know where it would be stored.
So it's not clear when you pin it what happens to it after that?
No, but I could see some animation of it going somewhere, or going boop, or something like that to help me. But I'm going to go back out to the main overview page, and hoping I'm going to see it there. And let's see, I'm not sure. The only thing that looks related to could be under Find Vendors, because there's that picture, because it looks like I clicked on something. I suppose it could be under Inspiration as well. If Inspiration was called My Ideas, I might like that better, and I would surely know it was what I had clicked on if it was in the box here, the picture of the shop or dress that I was interested in.
Okay, great. So now task 6. You don't have a lot of time during your lunch break, so you need to take a look at your overall wedding plan to get an idea of where things are at in general. Show me what you do there.
Well, I'd go to this overview page if to look at how things are doing in general.
Mm-hmm.
And you mentioned there's something to do about. I've got to look at dates.
Not yet. That's,
okay.
That's the next task.
Well, there's notes here, but this gives me a nice overview of this page.
Okay. So you and your fiancé have set the date on June 15th, 2015. You have decided the dates and times for the bachelorette parties, wedding shower, and rehearsal dinner, etc. the week before the wedding. Also, your dress tuxedo will be ready the same week, and you need to go in for final fitting. Find an available date and time.
Okay. I've got this calendar program to do that. If it could import my calendar items from other sources, that would have some usefulness. And if they could be simultaneously exported to hook in with that, then I might use this calendar. But it looks like a nice calendar to use, and could click through things pretty fast and hide items related to categories, but I don't think that's too necessary. I wouldn't want to make a mistake and have something hidden. And then the countdown up there, 45 days to go. Yeah, that would be it's a nice thing to see. That is, I don't see other places for planning.
Okay. So now on to task 8. You've just left a meeting with a florist where you put a down payment down on a floral arrangement, and you want to keep track of the expense. Assume your budget categories are already set up.
Go back out to the page. Financial looks like it might do it. It could say my budget down here and then tie into, I think, budget right there. Unless there's, that had to do, those are subcategories of financial, aren't they, on that main page? There is budget, recent expenses, and so those are under financial. But anyways, I'm going to go to financial then. And I could look it up here on the list, it looks like, for the wedding budget. And expenses could be looked up down here. And categories, so I've got a lot of ways to do that.
Okay. So you've already purchased flowers for the event, but forgot about the boutonnieres for the groomsmen. It's going to cost you $70. Check to see if you have enough money remaining in your flowers budget to purchase them.
Yep, I see that right here.
Okay. Task 10. Take a look at what needs to be done today and cross off the things you completed.
Okay, I'm going to go back here to tasks. And I'm assuming I would just, since there's no other button up here that says action, I would assume just clicking it would make it completed. And I see the ones checked down here and up. So that's what I would do.
Mm-hmm. And is there anything else?
And they're grayed out. That's good.
Anything else on the page you would like to?
Nope, nothing else I want to do there.
Okay. And one last task. Task 11. You're having lunch with a client and she recommends a restaurant that caters the Asian infusion style you are hoping to serve at your wedding. You need to quickly record their name and location so you can check them out later, but you don't want to interrupt the conversation too long.
I'd probably use whatever the quickest handy-dandy note keeper I'm used to using is, and won't open this app. If I was in this app, I'm going to go out to the main page to see if there's something to do, because I don't see notes down here on the bottom. So I'm going to go, I see notes right there. Maybe I can click that pencil and jot something in here.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, I think that's it. Unless you want to do a couple optional ones, but I think we're done.
Okay, great.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your time and patience.